My name is Beverly Warren.
I'm Orville Warren. I've been married, and she has too, for 59 years this Saturday.
I met Orville when I was working at the Rexall drugstore as a soda jerk, and he came into the drugstore with his cousin, and my mother and dad were so protective of me that I couldn't walk home 2 blocks by myself.
She's all I ever wanted and all I ever needed.
Well, he was at work at the dealership one day, and one of the men that worked near him said, "Orville, you're as white as a sheet, and you're perspiring." So they called an ambulance, and they took him to the hospital. And I got a call from the nurse saying, well, he's had a little problem. Well, I found out when I got back to the hospital, he had another heart attack. He never really progressed well after that.
Orville had recently been in the hospital with some symptoms of shortness of breath and heart failure. He had not been feeling well. And at that time, we discovered his aortic stenosis.
And he was doing less around here. It was more just being concerned, watching over him, trying to meet his needs as he had them, trying to cook the proper food and trying to get him to move as much as he was supposed to. He said, "Beverly, I'm just killing you. I'm working you to death." And I said, "Orville, when we took those vows, I didn't say I'd love you until you got sick."
And they said I could need the aorta valve replaced. It was a frightening thing to think I'd have to go through that. Quite frankly, I didn't think I could handle it again.
A group that's affiliated with a hospital called the Silver Elite, which is a wonderful organization, have seminars put on by different doctors for different causes. So we signed up, and when we got there, we were probably one of 300 or more people with issues like this. And we saw this wonderful video of how they proceed on this new procedure.
We heard about TAVR type of replacement.
So we went to the doctor's office. He said, "I can help you."
For the first time when he was hospitalized, couldn't breathe, we tuned him up, if you will, got him feeling better with medications, the temporizing medications, enough to get him out of the hospital and complete his testing, complete his meetings with the heart team.
And then he went over the entire process while we were in his office. And when he got through, he says, "Do you have any questions?" He had detailed it so much. There was no question left to ask except, when can we do it?
Beverly is a wonderful, supportive lady. She was there with Orville with every appointment. They were very intrigued. They actually had gone to a couple of seminars as well and had heard about the transcatheter valve replacement. He sees an interventional cardiologist, a surgeon, and myself, and we evaluate the patient as a team.
The special thing about this valve is that it can be miniaturized and delivered through a catheter, which is a plastic tube, through a patient's femoral artery, like a heart cath, and advanced into position in the aortic valve, and then expanded with a balloon that it's mounted on, and it displaces the bad valve out of the way, the patient's malfunctioning valve, and it takes over and begins to function immediately. And this technology, it allows us to do this on a patient with their heart beating, without the need for a heart-lung machine or stopping the heart.
I think it was a relief to her to know that he wasn't going to have to go through major surgery again.
The case of TAVR, because we deliver this valve through a large tube in the femoral artery, you can have injury to the vascular structures, to the blood vessels. All major cardiac procedures have the same set of major risks, that you can die from the procedure, you can have a heart attack from the procedure, you can have a stroke from the procedure.
There always is a risk. There's no way to foresee that. The doctor said, we're ready to go. We're just sure everything's going to be fine. And so they sent me to the waiting room, and we sit there, and we get a phone call that is an update from the nurse. They said, we have completed the procedure. He's in recovery, and we will meet you in waiting room number 3.
When I woke up, She was standing there with a smile on her face, as big as Dallas.
When they told us that we could go back up to the room, he's in his bed with the nurses around, and he's cracking jokes, and they're laughing, and the doctors come back in and they say, "Look at him." And it probably about 1:30 or 2, they checked the oxygen, and it had gone from down to 30 up to over 50, and it was just a party.
He had the procedure done. He did fantastic.
That was the light at the end of the tunnel we've been looking for. That if you have your faith in who you are taking advice from and encouragement from, then that's over 50% of your battle. If you have a feeling that maybe a certain physician or cardiologist you met, you don't have that much confidence, seek out another one. Second opinions on things are good, and each day will be a little different. You will have a little bump one day that you might not have the next day. But keep on keeping on. At the end of the journey, when the good thing has arrived, the blessing has come that there's something new that has helped improve the spouse's lifetime. I feel like if you serve your spouse with love, somebody's going to come up with something someday that's going to help you.